As eyes turn to Des Moines and the World Food Prize observes its 30th anniversary, it is edifying to reflect on the fact that when the Iowa Territory was first opened for settlement in 1834, the global population had just reached 1 billion. When Norman Borlaug and John Ruan Sr. were born in 1914, the world population had only risen to 1.7 billion, an addition of 700 million people in 80 years. However, just 95 years later, when Dr. Borlaug passed away in 2009, there were 7 billion people on the face of the earth, an increase of 5.3 billion more mouths to feed. As global population grows at this staggering rate, the battle against hunger struggles to keep up. It was a singular dedication to feeding this ever-expanding world that led to Norman Borlaug's vision of creating the World Food Prize. Born on a small Iowa farm, Dr. Borlaug's pioneering work in Mexico to produce higher-yielding strains of wheat ushered in the Green Revolution, preventing large-scale famine in South Asia and earning him the title of the man who has saved more lives than any other person who has ever lived. Shortly after receiving the Nobel Peace Prize in 1970, Dr. Borlaug embarked on a mission to recognize and inspire those individuals who would lead the fight against world hunger. And in 1986, the General Foods World Food Prize was born. The first World Food Prize was awarded in 1987 to Dr. M.S. Swaminathan of India. However, just 3 short years later, the future of the World Food Prize was in serious doubt after corporate restructuring ended financial support for the prize. Dr. Borlaug would once again have to find a sponsor. This time, his search would lead him back to Iowa and toward the formation of a partnership that would forever change the World Food Prize. Noted businessman and philanthropist John Ruan Sr., who, like Dr. Borlaug, was born in a small Iowa town in 1914, had a long-standing vision that Iowa be seen as the agricultural capital of America. A resonant chord was struck in Ruan, and in 1990 he announced his intent to bring the prize to Iowa, thereby securing its future. Over the last 25 years, with the support of the governor and the state legislature, and its many donors, the prize would not only survive, but flourish, especially under the direction of its new chairman, John Ruan III, and foundation president, Ambassador Kenneth Quinn. Fulfilling Norman Borlaug's vision, world leaders have called the World Food Prize the Nobel Prize for Food and Agriculture. The World Food Prize laureates hail from countries around the world and have been at the forefront of the single greatest period of food production in all of human history. They are responsible for a diverse array of accomplishments, including dramatically improving rice production in Asia and Africa, the development of quality protein maize in Mexico, the eradication of pests and diseases, promoting and expanding the dairy and seed industries in India, reforming the food policy framework in China and countries in South Asia and North Africa, utilizing methods of microcredit, aquaculture, and humanitarian relief to empower poor rural women, making deserts bloom in the Middle East, and unveiling the promise of biotechnology. Fulfilling John Ruan's dream, each year the World Food Prize gathers international experts to address critical issues in global food security through its international symposium known as the Borlaug Dialogue. Referred to as the premier conference in the world on global food security, and which has featured speakers such as UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, Prime Minister Tony Blair, AGRA Chairman Kofi Annan, Princess Haya bint al-Hussein, and Bill Gates, who launched his multi-billion-dollar initiative to uplift African agriculture in 2009, as well as smallholder farmers from Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Other World Food Prize events have featured world leaders such as President Xi Jinping of China, and U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell. As we celebrate the accomplishments of the laureates who have uplifted the lives of tens of millions of people during the first 30 years of the World Food Prize, it is sobering to reflect on the fact that in 2046, when Iowa celebrates its bicentennial as a state and the World Food Prize will observe its 60th anniversary, the global population will have just reached 9 billion. Whether we are able to sustainably and nutritiously feed all of these people is perhaps the greatest challenge the world has ever faced. It will be the next generations of laureates and global leaders who will determine whether we are able to fulfill Dr. Borlaug's dictum, enshrined in the magnificent World Food Prize Hall of Laureates, that food is the moral right of all who are born into this world. With the legacies of Norman Borlaug and John Ruan Sr. to guide them, and the World Food Prize laureates to inspire them, there is every reason to be optimistic. And so, thanks to the remarkable accomplishments of its laureates and the contributions of its founders, what began as one man's idea has grown to become the world's foremost award, recognizing great accomplishments and inspiring even greater achievements in the fight to eradicate hunger in the 21st century.